What's going on, folks? It's Dr. Ragnorak, and I'm coming at you once again from the X-Lair to provide you my very insightful reaction to the latest Marvel Universe film, Thor Ragnarok. Thor Ragnarok just came out Thursday night. Tonight is Saturday. I watched it. Then I needed a little time to process it. I had to think about it a bit. It was overwhelmingly entertaining, and so I didn't want that to cloud my ability to kind of assess the film. So I give it a day or so to kind of mull over the my thoughts on the situation, and here I am, ready to give my opinion. Really fucking like the film, man. Really like the film. Definitely not consistent in overall with like the prior two Thor films. It did feel a bit of a left turn. For the franchise, which is fine. It's fine, like I really like. So I actually liked. I know this is contrary to like popular opinion, but like I actually liked Thor 2 more than I liked Thor 1 because it was like more of an expanding of the world of Thor, like Asgard. Like we saw a little bit more of Asgard and like, and it was a little bit more sort of fleshed out and like dramatic. Whereas in the original film, it felt more of like a place to start the story and then let's get the hell away from here because it's too expensive to show too much action here. Like that's just sort of what it felt like. Let's take it to Earth and have a lot of the movie be shot in a desert where it's cheap. Like that's fine, but in the end, like I wanted to see more of like that world, that fantastic world that Thor is a part of. And we did. We got a little bit more of that in the second one. And I enjoyed the second one. I thought it had a very cool sort of story. I like that the MacGuffin, as it were, was one of the Infinity Stones. I don't know. I didn't dislike the film. And at no point did I ever think back and think, well, that was not a good film. I mean, as far as all the Marvel Universe films go, yeah, it's not the best one, but it doesn't matter because, like, the caliber of film they produce in general is really good. So even if you're going to get a relatively lackluster one, it's still going to be an entertaining movie and, like, fun to watch. So Thor 1 is fun to watch for me, and Thor 2 is fun to watch for me. But this third one is going to be a lot of fun to watch on the multiple viewings that I will be engaging in because I will be watching this movie again. In fact, I'll probably be watching it again very soon, and then I'll probably watch it maybe two more times in the theater, and that's not something I normally do, and so that says a lot for this particular film. So the film itself, it was definitely overall engaging from start to finish. I love the way it started. And by the way, from this point forward, there might be spoilers. So if you haven't seen the film, I suggest you turn off the YouTube, the YouTube that you kids call the YouTube, thwip bitch. Just turn it off. Come back after you've actually seen the film because I'm going to spoil some parts for you. You shouldn't have this movie spoiled. Anyway, I'm going to take off this mask too because it's getting a little bit difficult to breathe, I'll be honest. Let me see. Let me see if I can pull the old Spidey, like, nose mask up to my nose business. Nope. All right. All right. So really enjoyed the film from start to finish. All this stuff with Surtur, the beginning, and like how that kind of like was potentially going to this place of like all of Asgard getting destroyed, but then it ultimately feeling like one big joke. Was a great way to start the film. Like the whole first opening sequence was great, and it definitely set the tone for the entire film, which is great. It's like you knew what you were getting into from the start, and it was something that I wanted to go further down into, just get immersed into. Like, I wanted more of it because it was hilarious. Like that whole shtick of him like spinning, and then he would be like, "Oh wait, hold on a minute, I got to make this turn here," like Surtur would stop making a speech or whatever. I don't know. It was really entertaining. Um, yeah. Then what happened? Oh yeah, then we went back to fucking Asgard, which was fucking hilarious. Loki's been in charge, like posing as Odin, like he's built that big statue of himself, and like uh, and he and they're doing that fucking play, man. That fucking play about Loki like being revered. Like the death of Loki and how like honorable it was and how legendary it was. And you had Matt Damon playing Loki. That was so funny. When I saw fucking Matt Damon, man, I started busting up, and I did not stop for a while. Um, yeah, so all that shit was hilarious. And then okay, so then oh yeah, so then Thor figures out that Loki is Odin right away, and then they go look for Odin on in New York, and then they fucking hook up with Doctor Strange, which I thought was fucking great. It was really great to kind of bring Doctor Strange in. But the way they brought him in, it kind of felt like he should have had a bigger role, you know, like he should have kind of been in there a little bit longer. I know it was more of a cameo sort of a situation, but it could have been more, and hopefully it will be more in the future once we see Doctor Strange again in, I'm going to assume Avengers Infinity War, and hopefully he plays a big role, and like audiences get to love him a little bit more. Um, yeah, so that it was cool to see Doctor Strange, but I wish it was more Doctor Strange, but it's all right because we got a bunch more of other stuff, which was dope. Anyway, so they ultimately witnessed the death of Odin, which I thought was very poetic, and it actually did it did emotionally affect me. You know, I was emotionally affected by the situation. You know, Odin is a powerful fucking character, and for him to pass like that, um, bittersweet. You know, bittersweet. And then fucking Hela shows up. Oh man. Oh, Kate Blanchett as Hela. Jesus fucking Christ, man. That was a fucking villain, man, and that was a masterful performance of villainy. And had the film not had like the comedic quality that sort of defined its overall tone, I think she could have been super fucking scary, like legendarily scary, like fucking Hannibal Lecter, you know, just like because she had that, she brought that. But Taika Waititi, I think is his name, he the director and writer. He kept adding that comedic edge to her performance, which is good because if not, then it would have not necessarily been consistent with the entire film, you know. And she deserved a chance to like kind of overplay her character, you know, in the way that she did, instead of having to play 100% serious, like playing that sort of uh, kind of whimsical a villain that, like, 1 second she's serious and the next second she wants to like kind of play with you, the audience, the character she's talking to, whatever. Like, she's got a playful sort of side to her. I thought that was cool. You know, it was interesting. It's unexpected, and it definitely adds to the film. But her performance overall, I thought was so fucking good, and her look, like the look of Hela, both with and without the antlers, was fucking dope as well. Um, so yeah, I really enjoyed just everything with her. I mean, fucking them going through the what is it called again? They're taking the Einstein Rosen Bridge. Let's just call it the Einstein Rosen Bridge because that's the best way I can remember it. They're taking that back to Asgard, and basically hitches a ride with them, and then like fucking fights them out of the fucking what is that? It's almost like going light speed, like warp speed in Star Trek. You know, like that weird kind of warp field. Like they get knocked out of it, kind of like when the Enterprise was knocked out of the warp field in Star Trek Two, by that warship run by RoboCop. Anyway, yeah, it was cool. Like, and then that knocked them onto Sakaar, which fucking led to everything that happened on Sakaar with the Hulk, with fucking Game Master, with fucking Valkyrie. It was so good, man. All that stuff. Um, the only thing that kind of threw me off slightly was the Banner stuff. Like Banner himself, he felt relatively inconsistent with what we'd seen before, but given that he'd been inside of the Hulk for 2 fucking years, he was certainly disoriented, and that would explain why he was just kind of in this weird haze the entire time, and therefore acting kind of goofy. That makes sense to me, and I'm willing to take it. But it did feel somewhat inconsistent with what we've seen of the character in the past. But that's fine. Again, there's a realism to the situation that does kind of explain it. Um, but everything that we saw with the Hulk, like in the Hulk form, like his whole arc throughout the film, all his interactions with Thor, their fight, um, it was so fucking entertaining. I want to be watching it right now. Um, yeah, so just the whole thing that happened on that planet, and even the Taika Waititi, the director, his character, that CGI like blue rock guy that was constantly trying to like start a revolution or whatever, like he was fucking dope. Like that was another cool character. There were all the characters were cool. Like everything was very interesting about Sakaar, and whatever. Like the whole thing was fucking fun. And then of course ultimately the climax, and we actually have fucking Asgard destroyed. Damn, that's some fucking serious business, boys and girls. That's some serious business. Ragnarok actually happened, and Thor chose it to happen in order so Hela couldn't maintain her hold on Asgard. That's a bold move, even though it was his father that suggested it, but bold nonetheless. Um, I don't know. It was like there was some serious stuff going on in the fucking movie. Like really, really, really fucking serious stuff. Like the stakes were really high. The stakes weren't high for us, humans on Earth, but the stakes were high in general in the story. And it was a lot of fun, man. I had a really good time watching that movie, and again, like I want to see it again. So I feel like they knocked it out of the park. It's doing well already, financially in the box office, and that's great. You know, that movie deserves it, and so does the character. Thor deserves it too. Like, cause you have like Captain America rising up in the overall like Marvel Cinematic Universe ranks in terms of like the success of his films, and like Thor didn't really get a chance to have that. Thor has had two good, but nobody would say stellar films, and so now finally they can have at least one film under the Thor moniker that is a huge success, and like just success financially, success with audiences, success with critics. I mean, it's got a 95% Rotten Tomato right now, so I mean, people like this movie, and that's fucking great. I'm really happy for everybody involved. Um, I look forward to seeing more, of course, of the Marvel universe. It's so good just kind of seeing it expand. They had a trailer for Black Panther right before the movie started, and god damn, Black Panther looks good. I mean, it looks so fucking good. Like, incredibly good. I mean, I would have never imagined that a Black Panther movie would be that good. Like, I was always cool with the character, but like, he never really interested me much, like, in terms of like, his overall world and the characters around him. I never really read his comics, to be honest. I was really more immersed with the X-Men and Spider-Man, uh, surprisingly. McFarlane Spider-Man, by the way. And by the way, this is a McFarlane Spider-Man inspired Spider-Man outfit, which I have yet to have an occasion to wear it for. And so I thought, well, fuck it, I'll just wear it for this review. Might as well make use of it. But yeah, yeah, I think the movie's a big success, and I'm glad that they finally do get to have that. Um, uh, one of the Thor films be that sort of success. Everybody involved deserves it. The Marvel Universe is about to head into some interesting territory with the Infinity War. As I always postulated, it appears that Infinity War is going to be Thanos' quest. So before Infinity War debuted, there was a two-part prestige format tale called Thanos Quest released, in which they show him collecting the Infinity Stones. And so I'm assuming that's what we're going to see. We're going to see him collecting the Infinity Stones. He's going to want the Tesseract, which Loki has. He's going to want the ether that the Collector had. He's going to want the Eye of Agamotto, which Doctor Strange has. And he's going to want that other one that's on the Nova world. The one from Guardians of the Galaxy 1. And then there's 2 other ones. Which we have yet to see. So Doctor Strange has the Time Stone. Oh wait, no. There's the Soul Gem, the Soul Stone, I guess, is the one that Vision has. So I guess we're missing one of them. I don't know. We're missing one of them, but he's apparently going to be collecting them all. And so I really do think that, like, at the end of Avengers 3, we're gonna see him finally have the Infinity Gauntlet. And he's gonna do what he did in the comic books. If you've read the comic books, I won't spoil it here, but it's fucking very dramatic, and it's going to change the Marvel universe as you know it. Lots to look forward to, folks. Once again, Marvel has been consistent, and they have produced yet another fucking awesome entry into their amazing film series, and again, I look forward to more. Anyway, that's my review. Actually, let me give it a score. I'm going to give it, out of a 10, I'm going to give it an 8.5. I'm going to give it an 8.5. Really enjoyed the film, and look forward to more. And yeah, super entertaining. Watch it if you haven't seen it, but you've probably seen it, because why not? It's fucking good. Probably heard about that by now and got your asses out to watch the movie. Anyway, as always, I'd like to thank you for checking out my video. If you haven't already subscribed, you can do so by pressing that button right there. Just press it, subscribe. And as always, I want to remind you that if you haven't already, you should put an X in the box, folks, because guess what?